In its final regular season game here in the Carrier Dome, the Syracuse Orange knocked off Colgate 18-3. The question is, will the Orange return here next weekend for the NCAA first round? Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomsen, he's Nick Dugan, and he's Nick Petraccione. Guys, an impressive performance for the Orange today. Nick, obviously you have to look towards the attack. Dylan Donahue, Sergio Salcido putting up big numbers before the NCAAs.
Probably the best attack in the nation. This is a six-headed monster on the offense. 10 different scorers today. They can move the ball. They were finding great cuts, great back doors. It just seemed like they could do anything they wanted. They got a little work in with their zone offense against Colgate's zone defense, so it was a good overall test run for the Orange today.
Nick, you're right. They built off that impressive performance in the ACC tournament. So did the defense, Mr. Dugan.
Yeah, Evan Malloy not tested heavily today, but the defense has been spectacular in these past 5 games, only giving up single digits to each of their last 5 opponents, and that includes twice against North Carolina and against Duke, and of course here against Colgate today. The defense is clicking on all cylinders heading into this NCAA tournament. Good sign for Coach Desko's squad.
They couldn't be playing better at the right time. I mean, honestly, it's been a very long season for this team. And Mr. Dugan, we'll start off with this one for you. Your favorite memory. Obviously, I have one as being down in Kennesaw and everything, but what was one moment this season that, kind of defined what this team was?
I think what defined this team this year was the midweek loss to Cornell, going on the road. They lose in overtime. Coming off of that loss, I think we really saw this team change their mindset. They started clicking defensively. They started locking down offensively. They started finding multiple scorers. I think that was really the turning point of this season, was a little bit of a wake-up call against Cornell, and they've since done very well here, winning the ACC tournament and heading off to the NCAA tournament.
I mean, they haven't lost since that game, so might be very right in that assessment, Mr. Dugan. Mr. Petraccione, what do you think?
I got to give it to Syracuse going into Duke and losing. It might not be a turning point. It might not be a great game for Syracuse, but that was a great game of lacrosse. They struggled in the fourth, but overall, what a game as Duke came back to win that one in overtime.
So they're turning off the lights here in the Carrier Dome, and they're setting all up for graduation going on right now. But Mr. Dugan, I think next Saturday they're going to have to tear this all down as the Orange could host a home game next week.
Yeah, it appears after winning the ACC tournament and performing well towards the end of the season that the Orange will be able to host a game in the NCAA tournament. I see them, while it could be a good matchup, possibly with a Johns Hopkins team that they lost to earlier this season, I think that they'll be able to squeak past whoever they play in the first round. I think the final 8, also a possibility for the Orange to advance there. They're playing very well right now on all sides of the ball. I think we may see the Orange's run end in the Final 4. We'll have to wait and see.
All depends on who they play. It's a difference of playing Brown or Albany, It really comes down to that. But, Mr. Petraccione, how do you see the Orange doing in the tournament?
I'm going to disagree with you here. I think these are the national contenders. They're one of the hottest teams in lacrosse right now, coming off a great ACC tournament. In all honesty, I think Final 4 is a breeze. It's going to become a national championship game. Whoever the bracket faces out, whoever comes and meets them, they're going to have a test with the Orange. I'm predicting Syracuse a big favorite in this tournament.
Well, we certainly know who has the orange T-shirt underneath his shirt and tie today. Well, that will do it from the Carrier Dome. The regular season is all done, but we'll have to see what waits when the playoffs begin. For Mr. Dugan and for Mr. Petraccione, I'm Chris Thomsen.